What we're going to talk about this morning is, are you potentially sabotaging your goals? Okay, I spoke at a thing with Pat Quinn yesterday. If you know Pat Quinn, holler if you hear me. Pat Quinn is, I think he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So far as training speakers is concerned, you guys, my hair feels gross. I just brought it down from a ponytail after kickboxing and it feels nasty. Anyway, so I was doing an event with him yesterday and a subject came up that I'd love to talk about. So the subject was what happens, like how do you set up your daily schedule to actually get things done, right? And I think it's the important thing that most people, like we need to know this part, or else we go through life. Hey Judith, we go through life not getting anything done, right? And then we wonder, why is my business not growing? Or why is my whatever I'm trying to do work, And the reason why is typically because we're not doing the right activities to push that needle forward. And sometimes we rest on the idea of being busy, and if we're busy every day, then we've got to be successful, right? I mean, if we can just stay busy every day, then we've got to find success eventually, and that is just not true. That is that hustle mentality that I just hate. Okay, I hate hustle. I like easy breezy, what makes sense, do this thing, and don't hustle, don't need to work all the live long day, right? And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. So what I suggest is this, and this is what a lot of people do, including me sometimes, but that's how I know this. So, all right, here we go. Whenever you go to your daily planner or whatever you're putting your daily tasks on, whenever you have that, I have a new thing actually. Here's what I have. What I have now is I have a notepad that I write I've got next week already put in there. I didn't even remember doing that. But I put them all in a little piece of paper for the week. And then I also have them in my planner in case I need to reference that, or if it needs to, if I'm out somewhere and I need to put it in. But what I do on Sunday is I go through and I put all of my tasks on my little paper here, and I know for the most part what's going to be happening that week. Well, here's where we go sideways with that concept. When we accidentally put goals on our daily calendar instead of tasks, okay? What I mean by that is a goal could be like if you're writing a chapter, this is the example I used yesterday in the event. If you're writing a chapter for like a book collab, or if you're just writing a chapter of your own book or something, you could have, write the chapter in your, and a lot of people would do this. They would say, write the chapter as a task for that day. Well, that's more of a goal. So a task for writing a chapter would be, do I know what the outcome of the chapter needs to be? Do I know what the chapter is going to be about, right? So that could be a task. So today it could be determine what the outcome, like if it's going to be a lead magnet or something, determine what the outcome of this chapter needs to be. Next day, what is the outline, or how am I going to deliver that? What's the story? What stories am I going to use in the chapter? Okay. Next day, outline the chapter. Okay. You see how these are tasks? Next day, do the first part, or write the first, section of the outline. And then you're working through an outline, and before you know it, you've got your chapter written. But what kept getting put off, which I skipped that part completely, the things that you, as you're going through your day-to-day life and you have these tasks in your calendar, there are some tasks that keep getting put further and further in the future. You keep putting them off, and those are the things that you need to do the most. And typically those things are actually goals and not tasks, or else they would be done. And so my suggestion to you is this, is if there are things that you keep putting off and putting off and putting off, break them down into tasks because they're too big. You look at them and you're like, oh, I can't do that right now for whatever reason. And then you put it off until the next day. Break it down into a task, right? Even if it's a small goal, break it down into its components it's going to take in order to accomplish the goal. And then all of a sudden you've done the tasks every day and then the goal just magically happens. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got that whole chapter written. I didn't really even have to think about it. Right, that's the idea. That's the idea. And that's how we push the needle, you guys. So that's my sort of gold nugget hack for you today to be able to accomplish your goals. And maybe that's something that you're doing that's actually sabotaging your goals, is that you're putting your goals as a day-to-day task instead of breaking the goal down into a task. Okay? Second thing that I have to mention to you, because it's on sale right now and it's going off of sale tomorrow, and I need to let you know about this. There is a thing that I use for you might be like, Martha, your brain is on fire, and it is. I have been using Nootropics for the last month and a half, and between that and fasting, my brain is in happy town, okay? Like, I am happy-go-lucky. I am making excellent decisions. Our strategy is off the charts. I'm building relationships. We're probably gonna have 1 million eyeballs on our stuff next month, just from stuff that has happened this last month. And I attribute a lot of it to the nootropics that I use. So I wanna share that with you guys. The link is in the description of this video. The link takes you to a website that then takes you through a quiz to determine what nootropics are best for you, because these aren't just buy some nootropics. It's, and nootropics, you guys, is for brain function. It's like the limitless pill, but it's natural, and it's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's going to have you go through a quiz to determine what is actually best for you, because there are some of them that I don't use because they're not best for me. You know what I'm saying? So there's a quiz there. Remember the code. It's going to give you 20% off. You won't get the 20% off if you don't use the code, okay? Make sure you use the code. I would suggest trying it at least once while you have this 20% off. They never do 20% off. And it just launched. I was in an influencer study, like where there were a bunch of influencers using it, and so I got to get in on it early. But I suggest doing it because your brain will go like bananas in a good way, not in a bad way, but in a good way. All of a sudden, you're going to be like getting these totally inspired ideas. For me, another thing that it did for me, which is totally bizarre, but another thing that it did for me is it took down my introvertness when I'm in public, which is just crazy. I've had so many conversations with Danelle about this where I'm like, I used to think extroverts were just kind of crazy, right? Like they were just kind of nuts. And now I realize like, no, they're kind of having fun out there, you know? And it has brought down my introvertness when I'm out in public. And so like I can talk freely instead of kind of being like, well, I'm just gonna do my own thing. Don't talk to me, you know? Like if I'm in the grocery store, this is me in the grocery store. And yeah, that's how tall I am, by the way. The cart is up here. I am really short. But anyway, just check it out, guys. If you want to grab it, grab it. If not, no big deal. But I love you guys. I will see you later. Bye-bye.